Yeah, sure. I mean, I guess it's that weird thing where this should be like we're celebrating the best performance of the season for the Baltimore Ravens. Ravens win today, 24-0 in Cincinnati, improved to 7-7 on the season. It is the Project Game Day post-game show. We'll get to the crew here in just a second. A reminder that if you or a loved one has a gambling problem, then you can call or text 1-800-GAMBLER or go to helpmygamblingproblem.org for free confidential services. Let's get some first thoughts. We begin. Ken Zales, happy Hanukkah, my friend. Your first thoughts.
Yeah, it's a Hanukkah miracle. Not it's just it's the exact game we all expected, right? After the last 2 weeks, and really after the last month with the offense and the way that the first quarter went, we were kind of probably in the back of our head saying, well, this is the team we've seen for the last month. I don't know why we're surprised or mad about it, but
Yeah, it's a
def
Hanukkah miracle.
defensively dominant. They took the Bengals out of the game. They didn't let anything on the ground at all that I can remember. They got some pressure on Burrow, even sacked him a couple of times. Mr. Robinson's return was everything we hoped it would be
Yep.
to the defense. And you know, I, I'm hesitant to say that this is a great sign for the next 3 games
Oh,
because we
I'm
haven't
I'm
seen this
very much yeah, Ken. I'm very
in
much in
so
this
long.
matters for today, and we
But
will we'll
but
talk
it's a
about
week
next
to
week. Next week.
yeah, it's a week to week league, and they were dominant today. And probably could have been some people held on to some balls that were thrown. Probably would have been a bigger blowout. But look, it's a on the road divisional game. Had to have it. They came and played, and for I'm going to say for 3 quarters because the first quarter was awful. 3 quarters they were totally dominant over a team that blew them away 2 weeks ago.
Rita, you're up next.
Yeah, I basically piggyback on KZ. Like, the first quarter was terrible on both sides of the football. There were like Lamar taking that sack from the free rusher was just like, hey, did we get off the bus? I don't know. And then after that, it just felt like they just kind of got into a groove. But I definitely want to give a shout out to the defense here today. I thought that they did a fantastic job. I hope that Teddy Buchanan I hope it's not as serious as we think it's going to be. I hope he has a quick recovery. But it was very good to see Tavius Robinson come back into the fold and be disruptive and be a part of what this defense was doing. My favorite thing, obviously, is Kyle Van Noy being like, "Hey, I'm old. I can't run down the field like this. So you go ahead and do it, Alohi, and give it run
Uh-oh.
down the field for the touchdown." But this was a you can't hear me.
We got you back. You're good,
Are
friend.
we good?
Yep.
No.
Nope, you're good. You're back. You're back.
Okay. Okay. But it was just it was just very good to see this team rebound from the last couple of weeks of losses that they've had. We obviously still have a lot of question marks about this team. Offensively, it just still feels like they're inept. But you got to take what you can get. So as of right now, I'm just going to focus on the positive, which is they did enough of what it took to get done to win this football game.
It's funny, Rita, because the only thing, like, I know why you're saying inept, but like, to Ken's point, there were some balls that were there. Like, this was a fine offensive performance today.
I feel like that's part of the ineptness, right? Like not
Yeah.
being able to catch the passes that to me felt like you should catch that. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And so that's what I mean by that. It just felt like they just weren't fully in sync, but it was enough to win the football game. And look, a shutout against the Cincinnati Bengals, who put up 32 points just a couple weeks ago. You got to take what you can get, and I'm happy for that.
Former Ravens linebacker Tyus Bowser, it's good to have you back, pal. Your initial thoughts on what you saw today?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of agree with everybody. I think it was just an overall good performance for the defense. Offense was able to get it done. I know, like Rita said, there was a few guys where those catches should have been made and they wasn't, but that wasn't the, tell off for that offense, and they was able to come up with big time plays and, get into the end zone. So I think overall it was a good performance by the team. They was able to get it done, you know, on the road. And I think it's just a positive for them this week going into the next week, just trying to build on that momentum and just continue to finish out the season strong.
Well, it's interesting too because we talk about some of the drops today, and it's easy to say, well, like, hey, this was what the coldest game in Cincinnati history, but you're playing prime time next Sunday night in December in Baltimore. You're playing prime time 2 nights after Christmas in Green Bay, and if you think this one was cold, that game might be illegal. Like that might be, it might
Especially
not
in
be
Green Bay.
right. Like it might not be the feels like temperature is -6. That might be the like temperature on that night. So they're gonna have to figure out ways to catch the ball and be a little bit better offensively in these frigid, cold situations because there's going to be more of them. And then, obviously Pittsburgh to wrap up the season, which who knows might end up being a primetime game as well. If that's for the division, like you're gonna have to be able to handle the football in these miserably cold situations, which was an issue today. I look, everything you guys have said, it's hard to, I'm certainly not going to argue with any of it, right? Like the defense was really good today, and was helped out a little bit, right? Like the first interception was a gift from a high throw from Joe Burrow that you can't do that in that spot. You're asking for that. The last interception, you got to give Kyle Van Noy a lot of credit. Adam Archuleta talked about it. Just a really good design on that play to have him come up and then drop back. I guess the follow-up question is, as I said to KZ, I feel like this lives in this week, and it doesn't make me feel anything about what might happen next week. Tyus, am I crazy to think that way, or have they earned that even when they have a spectacular performance today, I'm reluctant to think that it's a grand statement about what this team is?
No, not at all. I mean, that's been the conversation all year. When you have a good game and then you go into the next week and you fold. So, I mean, coming off these last two losses, that was definitely needed. But to come in and rebound this week away, is definitely a positive. But that's all you can really do is just focus on this week and just be like, hey, we got the job done. We did what we needed to do on the road. And now let's enjoy it today and then let's reset for next week. And that's got to be the mentality for them going out for the rest of the season because they think that they're on the high right now and you're going to Pittsburgh and you're going to be upset. So it's just really just focusing on this week, be proud of it, use that as momentum going into the next week in practice and preparation and just go from there.
Rita, you have certainly been of the opinion that the season, that nothing matters, right? That like essentially the season was either over or even if they got there, they're not doing anything anyway. Did anything about today make you change that opinion, give you a feeling that perhaps there's still life here?
No, no. You play the Patriots, you play the Packers. The Steelers is, I think they obviously have an opportunity to beat the Steelers. And I understand it. It's week to week, and the NFL is any given Sunday. So they have an opportunity to beat all three of those teams. But I also know that, the Steelers have the Patriots have Mike Vrabel as their football coach, who is very well a very good defensive football coach. And we know we've talked about this offensive line. And then the Packers have Micah Parsons. So I'm not confident about those games. And I'm not going to lie about that. The TJ Watt situation, obviously, we know is up in the air because of his injury. But I always felt like the Steelers is a game that you split, you know what I'm saying? But no, it doesn't change it. I just think that you want to see effort, you know what I mean? Like, you just want to see that your football team is at least trying to find a way to make a playoff run. And I think that that's what you want, you know what I mean, from your football team. Does that mean that I think that they're going to make the playoffs? No, but I also feel like that the Steelers aren't that much better than the Ravens. So they're always going to be in the race.
That's it's what we talked about last week, right? Like I understand, I don't feel strongly about the Ravens, but I can't feel anything about anybody else. And as I said, like I don't know, I I I have no idea that the Steelers are definitely going to beat the Dolphins tomorrow night. Like I just don't know what to expect from any of these teams.
And
So
look, while I feel like the Steelers could do it, I get your thought process. The Dolphins have played good football, in the last few weeks.
yeah.
You and I have talked about this, I guess, on the our podcast, and I get it. Like I think we're on different ends of the spectrum there, but I also think that it's a fair point, right? The Dolphins have improved since they played the Ravens, and the Steelers, they're not going to, at minimum, they're not going to have TJ Watt.
Yep.
So that's something that, we need to look after.
Tyus, what led to this? Walk me through what we saw from the defense today specifically, because in the second half against the Bengals on Thanksgiving night, Joe Burrow did basically whatever he wanted to do against this defense. What changed? What flipped that allowed for the defense to do this today? And is it just Tavius Robinson? Like that's everything changes because of Tavius Robinson? Like what leads to this and how do you sustain it now for the final 3 weeks of the season? Not to think they're not going to give up another point. They're probably going to give up another point at some point.
I'll probably say the difference is the quick turnaround, which you planned this team a couple weeks ago. So a lot of that stuff is really fresh when it comes to their 2-minute operations, their end of the game operations, third down stuff that they have going on. It's really kind of the same call. So a lot of that can be a big part as far as being in tune with what Joe Burrow audibles or what he says or what the formation is that can keep guys fresh and go out there and lock in and actually play their game instead of overthinking things. And two, I just feel like with the momentum that they had going on with the rush playing well, the back end playing very well, that all just helps correlate that defense to be at their best. And that's affecting Joe Burrow on the back end. And that's just confidence building for that defense to go out there and play the way that they did. So I think a lot of it was just a quick turnaround, being able to memorize and understand what's going on the field, and really just going out there and playing with the momentum that that team has already created throughout the game.
We should point out 3 sacks, but 11 quarterback hits on the day for the Ravens. Now, a couple of them that were a little bit close and
No, I get it, but my favorite one was like Demon
Draymond
Jones,
Jones, yeah.
Draymond Jones, like with the crybaby.
I
I'm sorry, I thought it was funny, y'all. I'm not gonna lie.
No, I
thought
think it was funny too. This is the NFL, Rita, and like while I don't think that should have been flagged, it absolutely
and it wasn't,
Yep.
It wasn't, to be clear.
But I've watched enough NFL to know it could have been. Like,
oh yeah, they definitely could have threw those flags.
Yeah.
But I
Tyus,
think just because of the tension that's between those two teams, they know like when you go to Cincinnati, you got to kind of let those guys play, and they definitely did. Because if this was any other team, this was Pat Mahomes, if this was Jalen Hurts or anybody else, they definitely would have been throwing them flags.
Tyus
agree.
Tyus might be the nicest human being that I've ever known in my life, and even he got into fights against the Cincinnati Bengals over the years.
But
we're not gonna bring those times up.
I do think it's different when you play divisional play. I do think that you kind of gotta. It's chippy. It's always going to be chippy. And if you call every single thing that you see, we're going to be 5 hours in, right? That's where I stand with that. So I think that you got to let division. Exactly. The Bengals are trying to fight for, their playoff lives. The Ravens are playing for their playoff lives. I think you just got to kind of let these guys play it out. And obviously, if it's egregious, you got to call it. But there was nothing egregious about, that specific play in particular. And I love that they didn't call Draymond Jones for unsportsmanlike conduct.
Yeah.
Let these guys get into it. You know what I'm saying? That makes it all fun in December.
Well, and the other thing that I do think was important about both the two that were the closest to being called late hits, neither one of them were the contact was minimal. And I do think it was fair for them to point out that there was probably some flopping going on from Joe Burrow trying to sell a late hit. So I did appreciate that. I've just watched enough football. It's the same league where none of us know what a catch is. It's the same league where we have no idea, where they write the rule out for what the catch is and then they ignore the entire rule and say that you got to have 3 steps down. So in that league, I just almost assume that they're going to throw a late hit on every play because I've watched enough football to think that that's possible. I appreciate the fact that they didn't, because I don't think either was egregious, and neither one was one that I came away from it saying that was stupid or that was I had no issue with either one of those. And yes, I also was entertained by Draymond Jones, and that was fun, and it was a fun day. It is the Project Game Day post-game show. Hey, if you are feeling good after a Ravens win, come celebrate tomorrow night with Tez Walker, as we're going to be at Chick-fil-A Nottingham Square for our annual Coats and Clothes Drive, benefiting the Helping Up mission. Just come out to Chick-fil-A Nottingham Square, 5198 Campbell Boulevard. That's from 6 to 8 p.m. Tez is going to be there. Anyone who brings out lightly used, if it's something in your closet that you should throw it away, throw it away. Don't bring it out. But lightly used or new coats and clothes, we need them to help the folks at Helping Up Mission. Bring them out. You can meet Tez. You'll get a free Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich as well for your donation. 6 to 8 tomorrow. We will be at Chick-fil-A Nottingham Square. Come join us. KZ, I'm going to give this one to you. It comes from Chris. The only problem he has is that the Ravens were gashing the Bengals on the ground in the second half, and I think Derrick Henry was averaging 20 yards per carry, and then suddenly they threw the ball 3 straight times, and 2 of them were sacks. Your response?
The Derrick Henry part, he just ran 2 times in sub-zero weather for 20-plus yards. Probably needed a break. But I'm going to agree here. I mean, you're gashing them on the ground. You had 3 running backs that all played well today. Mitchell, I don't know what he wound up averaging, but he was probably over 5 yards.
Mitchell was 8.3 yards per carry. Henry was
Okay.
9.1.
I mean, Ali had the nice play for the touchdown out of the backfield. I didn't get that.
Wait, did you say Rasheen Ali had a nice play, Ken? I just wanted to make sure that we caught that. You said Rasheen.
I did.
So were you okay with Rasheen Ali being on the field there?
I actually wasn't, but he had a nice play. I still, every screen that goes to him, I'm like, well, Mitchell could have taken that to the house, but he did in this case, so I'm good with it.
And actually, it was a phenomenal. It appears as
it was a great read.
They checked into that.
Yeah. No, it was a fantastic
saw
play.
the pressure. Everything about that was chef's kiss.
But
I
yes,
feel like we want more of that. Real quick, I'm sorry, KZ.
Yeah,
I just feel like we want
agree.
more of that. You know what I mean? We just want to see more of like Lamar seeing the coverage and being like, "Hey, do that. That's all. That's all."
What are you reacting to, KZ? What are you saying?
I think Mahomes just tore his ACL.
Oh, what?
Pat Mahomes.
Oh no!
Pat
No!
Yeah. He's.
At the end of the day, we never want to see that. We never want to see that.
It's a little bit of contact, but it's not much. And I think the injury happened before. I don't want to see that.
It's not good. No bueno.
I was watching the end of the Bills Patriots game.
And I see that the Bills came out of
Bills
that.
came back. I'm sorry, but I do. I'm going to agree with him. I did have a problem in that. I reacted the same way. It's like, what are you doing? You're gashing them. Just keep it on the ground. But that's, I've come accustomed to that. It's like, it's what they do. It's like they like, okay, well, they're expecting us to run, so we're going to hit them with the pass here. I didn't like that after the 20-plus yards from Henry that they went away from the run. Henry needs a break. That's fine. Give it to Mitchell. Give it to Ali in that case.
Right.
So yeah, I agree with him.
That's the only issue that I have is I think your point is well taken. Now, on the day that Derrick Henry only had 11 carries, that is a little bit of a head scratcher, right? Like, and I'd have to go through and find the spots, but it does feel like there's no reason why this should have been a game where Derrick Henry only touched the ball 11 times. To be fair, if you include the carries for Keaton Mitchell, then you're at 19 total carries, but given the fact that you gave up 0 points and that you were having both guys were averaging over 8 yards on the ground, it feels like a game in which there should have been more on the ground. The pure number of snaps is part of the problem here. Like, they only threw the ball 12 times. Like, they just didn't have that many offensive snaps on the day. It felt like that could have been changed maybe by sticking to it on the ground. From Dante, did you guys notice Ardarius Washington at all? I did not. I did not. Did he? I don't.
He made a tackle. It was like a 3rd and 9, and I think they picked up 8. He made a tackle like in the first half, but he played a little bit. He played a little bit, not a whole lot.
Okay. I think a lot of people were wondering if this was going to limit Alohi Gilman. As it turns out, Alohi Gilman, I thought, had one of his better games of the season today. I thought he was really good today. Look, no one has an answer for Jamar Chase. Like, at the end of the day, Jamar Chase still finished with over 100 yards receiving. They tried Nate Wiggins on him. I don't even think it was an embarrassing effort from Nate Wiggins today. I just think that Jamar Chase is Jamar Chase. Like, he's that effing good. And that happens sometimes, but they did enough. And obviously the Bengals were just throwing the ball in the second half. So that sort of elevated those numbers. I don't know, man. Like, he had 2 tackles. There's Ardarius Washington. Thank you, Griffin. It's weird. Jamar Chase 8 today, and yet I don't feel like, Tyus, am I wrong? I don't feel like it was terrible defense. I just think they kept going to him, and when you keep going to a player that good, you're going to end up getting some numbers at some point.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, he's him, and it is what it is. He's gonna get his catches. He's gonna get his yards. Simple as that. And I mean, that's like playing, a high-profile basketball player. Like, they're gonna get their points.
Yeah.
But as a defense, you want to make sure that they don't get more points than you. Simple as that. And at the end of the day, they won the game. They took care of business. He didn't score a touchdown. So I mean, yeah, he had a great game, but nobody's gonna remember it because they got 0 points on the board, so it don't matter.
4 sacks on the day for the Bengals. Obviously, we've talked a lot about the offensive line. Now, to be fair, the first one, the Miles Murphy one, that was really on Isaiah Likely more than it was on any of the offensive linemen.
I feel like there was 2 sacks that were
There was
tight ends.
there was one
There was one on
Kohler,
Kolar.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
There was one on Kolar
Yeah.
too. So yeah, it was 2 sacks on offensive on tight ends.
And they did, like, again, I'm not trying to oversell the offensive line and say that I'm suddenly comfortable or anything along those lines. And I don't know. I still think that there were issues, but I think that number 4 sacks maybe doesn't tell the whole story of the day for the offensive line. All right, I'll just keep moving on then. I'll keep moving on.
I mean, what you want us to say, Brian? Like, I mean, this offensive line, we're not going to have nice things to say about them. Generally, it's just what it is.
It's never
I mean, I'll say this: if there were 4 sacks, 2 were on tight ends, 1 was on Lamar.
Yes, thank you. The one on the first
so-
quarter was on Lamar. I agree.
So I'm not saying that they were great because it's not a great defensive team, but when you look at the 4 sacks, if somebody who didn't really watch the game is going to say, yeah, same old offensive line, it really wasn't that.
I that's the way that I felt watching it. I thought that they were better, and I thought that those numbers might skew it a little bit. So
hey, friends, I just want to let you all know I love talking to y'all. I told Glenn that I had a Christmas thing that I got to go to, so I have to go to my Christmas thing. I'm here. I've been talking to you on this parking lot. The Ravens won. Thank God. The Patriots is going to be mad next week. I don't know what else to tell y'all. So I'm leaving here. I just wanted to say, great win, because at the end of the day, you still feel good when the team wins, even though you feel like they're not going to make a big push for the postseason. So I'm out. Peace out. I will talk to you guys next Sunday. Late because they wanted to change the game to 8:00. So now I have to talk to you all at 11:30 at night. Thanks.
Love you, friend. Appreciate you.
Thanks, NFL. All right, appreciate y'all. Love y'all. Bye.
Thanks, Rita. Project Game Day Postgame also brought to you by the Costas Inn. 2 locations now for the Costas Inn, the OG on North Point Boulevard, and now the new Costas Inn open in Timonium at the fairgrounds. You saw that tweet from Kimberly Martin, and somebody else, I think Jeff Zrebeck, tweeted that it was particularly loud. And Tyus, like you be the one to say this so that you can say it more elegantly than I can, or eloquently, I guess is the better way of saying it. I think somebody, yeah, Jeff Zrebeck said this has been no, who said it? Somebody else said something about how loud the locker room was
Yeah, it was
after.
Tolentino. I'll find the tweet again.
Is that what it was? Okay, thank you, Griffin.
Yeah.
Um, I feel like somebody's gonna say like you're 7-7. What are you doing hooting and hollering? You're still on the outside of the playoff picture right now. Can you walk me through what even a week like this might mean, and why it might be particularly emotional for this Ravens team, despite the totality of their picture to get this one?
Well, I'll say number one, a win is a win. Like it's not easy winning in this league. So one thing that Harbaugh always does is that we're gonna celebrate every single win because it's not easy. And number two, we don't like the Cincinnati Bengals. They've always been a struggle for us. And to go out a couple weeks ago and get embarrassed in our own stadium is a no go. So for us, it's personal to come out here and get a win in their home stadium and cut them out of the playoffs. Like, I don't see any other reason not to celebrate that as a team. So I say a lot of that is because of that reason. And they have a right to. Like, they out here playing their lives out to have the potential to go out here and play in the playoffs. And what's need to be done is to beat the Cincinnati Bengals and take care of your opponents within your division to help you get there. Because I mean, if you lose that game, sure, who cares if you win or lose against the Pittsburgh Steelers? Because you're just putting yourselves out of contention to get there. So all those games matter, and for them to get that is big. So they have a reason to go and celebrate in that locker room.
Lewis, as hard as I have been on Zach Orr and John Harbaugh, I will give them props for today's effort. And look, I think we've all been hard on, and rightfully so. I think we've been hard on all three of them. Like, that's what happens when you're 6-7 on this season. Is there going to be people that doubt you? But yeah, they were prepared today. They were ready to play today. And despite, Tyus, you can speak to this. You lose back-to-back home games like that to division opponents. I'm not trying to make it seem like today is the Super Bowl or it guarantees anything. As I've already said a couple of times, to me, this is what happened today, and that's it. But I do think it might be easy for two home losses in the division to overwhelm you a little bit and to lead to maybe a little bit of a defeatist attitude. I do think that matters that they came out and they played like this today and didn't allow for that to happen.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's the great thing about that organization is that they have pride in that organization. Like, regardless of the situations of what's going on and how they playing, like they have pride to know that we are better than this, that nobody's just gonna come out here and just, you know, play us like we ain't who we are. And for them to come out here and do what they do, that says a lot about that team. And that just shows the perseverance, that shows the fight in this team to go out there and play their heart out, even though they are 6-7 or 7-7, whatever it is. Like, we're gonna go out here and play. And whoever thinks opposite us, like, forget them. Like, they're not part of us. They're not with us. Like, all that matters is us, and we're gonna go out here and do our job and come out here and perform the best that we can and get a win at the end of the week. And then once the next week comes, we worry about that. But that's all that matters.
Tyson, you're a particularly positive person, right?
You
And
gotta
so
be, man.
I,
It's
well, but
how old are you, Glenn?
I am 42 years old. I
You
am.
can't tell me within
How
your
old did you? Wait a
42
second.
years
How
how
old did
hard
you
it
think?
is
We've
to
known each
be
other for a long
happy in
time.
this world.
Tyus, how old did you think I was?
I would say probably like 40.
Okay, all right, I'll take it.
I
I'll
was gonna
take
be
it.
40. You got
I'll
you
take
got
it.
a lively soul to you. So
Oh, I'll take that.
yeah.
Um, you are a very positive person. And yet you've acknowledged, like a week ago when we talked, you said, look, there is a chance that this spirals, right? Like
Yeah.
that we all have been seeing the same things. It, I don't want to because I keep coming back to, I think it's just 1 week, one result. This is the NFL. It means nothing about next week. But is it possible that one result, that it being a shutout, that it being such a thorough beatdown, that something like that could allow a team to click and could get a better level of football out of this group for the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, you can see the opponents that's coming up. That's just even more motivation for them to continue. I mean, you talk about the Patriots who are the top seed in the AFC. That's a chance for them to show the world who they are and that we're not going to bow down to nobody. And one thing that I know about playing with the Ravens is when we play against big teams, we tend to show up very well. And that might not have been the case with the Detroit game and other games that went on throughout the season, but it's December. And coaches know that, players know that. And this is when you either fight and survive or you bow down and you look forward to next year. And I know that they're gonna have the mindset to go out here and perform and show the world who they really are. And it's like, hey, we ain't no front runners. Like we gonna come out here and we gonna show y'all what's up. And if y'all not ready, be prepared. And I think that's just how you got to go about it, especially during this time. Like it's not easy fighting for the. It's not easy making the playoffs, especially when you got teams who are in the same situation as you. It's like you got to go out there and do your job. You got to go out there and do the extra to make yourselves, respected and to earn that spot in the playoffs. And I think that's just what the mentality is for that team and how you got to go about this next week. It's like we got good opponents. Let's show them how good we are.
I think we got a resident Bengals fan in the comments, Booster, who says the Ravens suck, but the Bengals just suck more. And look, I think a lot of us were wondering what to make of it. Like KZ, we joked the other day. Joe Burrow wanted to. He looked defeated in his press conference this week, and that's why I don't know. I don't know what to make of it. I do think that was it was flattening for them to lose after how they had played against Buffalo, to blow that, and for the math to be what it was for them sitting at 4-9 after that game. And so is it possible that some of this is a statement about the Bengals? Absolutely, it's possible that this is at some part a statement about the Bengals. But, I can't react to that right now. I can only react to what the Ravens did. And today they did what they were supposed to do. What do you make of the idea that this tells us more about the Bengals and where they were mentally this week?
I think that's a lot of it. I'm not going to try to play therapist and you know and what's going on, but they looked they looked flat. Like it was a bad football game for a quarter on both sides, and they looked at I don't know. I mean, it's been a long time, and I don't when Burrow made those comments and then everybody backtracked and said they overblew him, like I believe it. He's getting killed back there. But some of this is his own doing, and by wanting to have all pro wide receivers and get paid, you can't do that and still have a great offensive line and a great defense. You can't pay everybody. And as good as they are on one side of the ball, I'm sure he is thinking about his future and stuff like that. And probably that crept in near the end of the game today when it looked like everybody was disinterested. They've been eliminated. Look, they were eliminated today. The Chiefs were eliminated today, and the Ravens won. It's a good day. And
It's true.
to be quite honest, I really don't care about Cincinnati. I have more disdain for Cincinnati than I do for Pittsburgh, quite honestly, because I think they're a joke organization the way they're run. At least the Steelers, I respect how they run their organization, how they go about business. I've never respected the Bengals and how they go about their business. That makes me a hater. That's what it is. But
Hang on a second, Ken.
they have great players. I mean, they have great players, and
There's no
they
doubt.
just they don't do anything with them. So
They provided their fans with all that free snow today, though. I don't understand what
yeah,
you're
that was
talking
great.
about,
It was
right?
fun. It was fun
Like
to watch.
they were kind. Yeah, Mike Florio trying to get him in trouble for not shoveling the snow. They were giving their fans all of that free snow.
all that free snow.
That's just thoughtful from an
Whatever.
organization to give
They're a
them
cheap
that.
organization. They've always been a cheap organization. And instead of having football people run it, they let their quarterback run it. And now he's upset. Well, go. I agree. I agree with Mr. Jones. Boo hoo hoo. Go cry somebody else.
Griffin, can you put that tweet back up? Lamar saying that he said that he had felt better. Because that is interesting to me. Like, we've been very dismissive of everything that Lamar has said the last couple of weeks because he sounded really disinterested in talking about the injuries and talking about, and I've defended that. Like, he doesn't want to come out and say, guys, I'm clearly limited. I'm not going to be able to run the ball. Don't worry about that. So I've defended the fact that he hasn't really wanted to talk about it. But it was interesting. Griffin, can you put that back up for me so I can see it? I apologize.
Yeah.
We'll get there eventually. We'll iron this all out before it ever hits the air. Don't worry about it. Lamar, I believe I told you guys this week that I was feeling better. I guess you had to see it to believe it. And look, I don't even know that
Yes,
Lamar.
hold on. Let me answer him. Yes, we
Yeah,
did.
I mean, sure. And the funny part too is we'd still come out today and saying like he looked a little more like Lamar. Look, the throw to Zay Flowers at the end of the first half is on the Lamar Jackson reel of great. I mean, that is just chef's kiss, man. Like that is as perfect in a spot where it seemed like they were destined to get 3 points before the end of the half. To put that ball in that spot right there, that is so good. And so at the end of the first half, he absolutely looked like Lamar Jackson again, but then they didn't score a touchdown in the second half. So I'm still not sure. Lamar, say yours.
But we said that. I'm going to go back to last week at
Oh,
10:05
apparently
left.
Lamar didn't get the word yesterday that the president was in town. Oh, that's
Oh,
wild.
oh, that's
Lamar,
funny.
dude, that was the worst traffic day in the history of this state yesterday. It was hell with all of the road closures.
I went south. So just as you know, Glenn and Tyus, you'll now know my wife is not a football fan, okay, at all. My son came home from college. She made us a 6 o'clock reservation at a restaurant downtown, and I said,
Oof.
first of all, we're not doing that because I'm going nowhere near the city. I
Oof.
said, it's Army Navy, the president's in town. I doubt we'll be able to move.
That game
And
was intense.
It was
she's like,
awesome,
good
right?
call.
Tyus,
But
can you? I know it's unrelated. Go ahead. Sorry, finish your thought, Ken, and
no,
then I'm gonna.
we said that about the 10-minute mark of the game against Pittsburgh in the third quarter. We said like all of a sudden, like jokingly, Lamar decided he wanted to
Yep.
play football,
Look.
and the offense started looking completely different, like it used to, like we hadn't seen for about 3-4 weeks. And so we kind of got the notion that, well, maybe he does feel better, but if he felt better, what, he just feel better in the third quarter? Why didn't he feel better from the start of the game? But you can tell he's starting to feel better, so I believe him when he says it.
Well, and ironically, the first touchdown drive, what started it was a run, right? Lamar running the ball in a situation where they had nothing going, and he turned it into a 14-yard gain, and it got them going. And then obviously the big gainer to DeAndre Hopkins afterwards, and they were on their way on that first touchdown drive. Hey, I know it has nothing to do with the Ravens, but Tyus, you just brought it up. I just wanted you because I am an unabashed Ken and I are both Navy football fans. Like I love Navy football; it's in my blood. Um, a
I can't
lot
say
of
that I like them, but it is what it is.
That's fine. I'm okay with that. But a lot of people would say this is bad football. This is garbage football. I don't want to watch it. That to me yesterday was like I was drunk on that game yesterday. Like every ounce of it. Like give me back to back 7.5 minute drives to start the game. And then like every ounce of it, I was drunk on that. And it wasn't perfect. It wasn't flawless. But to me, that's what you want in a football game, man. Like that to me was beautiful football yesterday.
Were they in Baltimore?
Yeah, they played the game in Baltimore
Okay,
yesterday.
okay. Because I was like, what is the president doing in Maryland for? And I was
Yeah.
like, oh,
Yeah.
Army Navy
Yeah,
game.
not a place that he would likely be. Yeah. Not
Probably not. But,
not,
it's nice to see that he cares about his states around. Quick little drive up, what is that, 95?
Yep,
Yeah,
right up 95.
quick drive.
Did you watch the game?
I didn't watch the game. I had
Oh,
my family in town, so
I thought you
I
would.
was
That's why I asked.
I was attending to them,
All right. All right. I'll
Yeah,
give you a pass for that. I'll give
appreciate
you
it.
a pass. We haven't heard from John Harbaugh yet, have we, Griffin? I just was hoping.
I think he's talking right now.
Hope,
I haven't seen
hope,
anything.
hoping that we'll get some updates on Teddy Buchanan, obviously in particular, and as Rita pointed out,
Yeah, he went last for whatever reason.
It did not look good, so we're hoping it's not quite that bad. Let me fly through a few more of these comments. Don't forget, live casino and hotel. The best place to watch every big game, every big fight night. You can get to Sports and Social at Live Casino and Hotel. Never pay pay-per-view prices. Instead, you watch them for free right there. 100-foot media wall. You can watch whatever this pillow fight is going to be on Friday night with Jake Paul. You can watch it there and have an awesome night.
It's called a boxing match.
It sure as hell is not.
Yeah.
John Little Rock, a shutout on the road and in the division is a statement win. Perfect game plan on offense in the conditions. The running game was excellent. Yeah, I wish they would have done a little bit more of it, as we talked about earlier. John, like I thought they should have stuck with the run there in the second half and maybe put on a few more points. But to the point, like they should have had the touchdown. It's weird because Zay was probably one of the better players on the field today, and yet he also gave the Bengals the ball in the first half and should have had a touchdown in the third quarter. So kind of a mix of what you got from Zay Flowers. And our resident Bengals fan, you scored 17 points against a defense that gives up 40 a game. You are not good.
You scored 0. Shut up.
Thank you, Ken.
You scored 0
Thank
against
you,
a defense that you don't think that you probably came into the game and said wasn't very good. Shut up. Shut up. Go away. By the way, enjoy the golf course because you've been eliminated from the playoffs.
I second that. I second
Shut
that.
up.
I love that. All right, Ken, you need to promote somebody today. I think there's an awful. Oh, you know what? Let me spend a second on this because last week I was really hard on special teams. I thought special teams were awful last week. Awful, atrocious. Way better today. My God, Charlie Kohler in kick coverage was.
The coverage was better, yes.
Oh my God, the coverage was night and day today, and particularly the kickoff coverage was exceptional. Also, Malachi Starks on the one, the punt, I thought got downfield, made a huge play.
Yeah.
David Ajabo.
Ajabo. We had the Ajabo sighting.
Yeah, making a huge play. I thought the coverage today was as good as it has been all season long. So I just want to give a quick shout out to the special teams because I think it's going to be forgotten. And I was very hard on special teams last week because I thought it was an atrocious week in the special teams department. That said, KZ, who are you promoting today?
Philip Rivers just took a shot.
By the way, before I promote somebody, I want to say a sentence I didn't think I would say in 2025. Philip Rivers just completed a pass.
Hey, hang on. Tyus, is this a farce that they're doing this with Philip Rivers?
Yeah, I feel some type of way because I'm like, how is a 44-year-old man able to get a call? But nobody ain't called me yet.
I don't blame you. I don't blame you.
You can throw. I've seen you throw a ball. You can throw the ball.
Exactly. Like, what are we doing here?
I think this is farcical.
What are we doing, man?
I don't know why it bothers me as much as it does, but it feels like spitting in the face of the league a little bit.
Especially all these quarterbacks who actually have great potential that's just not given a chance. And you go, and I respect Phillip Rivers, but
oh my God,
he's been done and gone.
He's out of the game for 5 years.
To be fair, they are on their fourth quarterback.
I understand, but there's somebody else. There's somebody.
We was on our fourth quarterback, and we found somebody. Like we're not doing
I'm with you.
We're not. Yeah, we're not going. No, we're not doing it. I'm sorry.
Okay. No, sorry. We've taken two.
That's okay. I wanna promote because they haven't been Robinson and Green. I want to give them both this week that attention because I thought they were terrific. You know, I don't know what it did to have your guys back in Washington and Robinson, but it seemed like it gave them a shot in the arm. Best performance from the pass rush this year, so they deserve a shout out for that.
Yeah, Tavius Robinson really was a monster today. I thought Travis Jones was great today too. I know he just
I agree. I think they all work. Trayvon Jones was good.
Yeah, he was good. Yeah, I agree. And it was after a week where they were not. Like last
Correct.
week, it was
Correct.
completely missing. It was utterly absent. So, and I get it. The Bengals' offensive line is what it is.
Here are the updates.
That for Chidobe Awuzie. That's not where. So
Who
that's
did you ask about?
I was hoping for Teddy Buchanan to get an answer.
Oh,
Chidobe Awuzie, John Harbaugh says it doesn't
wait,
look
unless
good.
there's a typo in this tweet. Hold on, let me see if I can.
I mean, I don't remember. Did Chidobe Awuzie get hurt again today?
He
I
did,
thought
yeah.
I thought his was a foot.
Okay.
I thought his
Yeah,
was a foot issue.
I think there might have been a typo in this tweet.
Yeah.
I'll see if I can find more.
Yeah, he had a boot on his right foot. Okay. So I think that the Jonas might have jammed a couple things together. Ryan Mink tweets, John Harbaugh said it doesn't look good initially with Teddy Buchanan's injury. He said they'll know more on Chidobe Awuzie tomorrow, and Ronnie Stanley is fine.
Yes,
So-
yeah. He said Harbaugh said Buchanan's knee injury looks significant. So
That sucks.
That's a bummer.
Yeah, that sucks because Teddy Buchanan had really settled in nicely. Obviously, it had been better for Trenton Simpson playing a little bit on the outside. That hurts. That hurts a lot. That really does sting. There is no way around that. And I think we all feeling the same thing when it happened, but don't love that. Do not love that at all. It's not a whole lot else to say. Historically, right? The Ravens have been able to find inside linebacker help. It's funny, we're just talking about Tyus, like calling guys. The Ravens have a history of calling guys and making it work at inside linebacker. I don't know what's out there. I don't know who's available, but
can we get Josh Bynes out of it? Wait, he's coaching. Isn't it?
yeah. It's always in case of emergency, break glass with Josh Bynes, man. No one has ever been called upon. Save us, Josh Bynes. Save us again. You're our only hope. But yeah, I think those days are over. I don't think that's going to be happening, and they just don't have a lot of inside linebacker depth. Obviously, Jake Hummel's more of a special teams guy. Trenton Simpson, I guess by default, like has to be the guy moving forward. It's a shame because he did seem to be looking comfortable playing the hybrid role, right, Tyus? Like it seemed like Trenton Simpson was playing much better football playing this hybrid inside-outside role.
Yeah, and I think that's going to be the biggest adjustment, moving forward, is that he's going to have to go back into that role as an interior linebacker. So I guess we'll just see, what the preparation is this upcoming week in practice, what packages they'll probably have him in, and then if he might just be there for this week or the next coming weeks with him out. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see. It should be interesting.
And, I thought he played fairly well when he came in today. So that's a positive sign. And I guess this is the advantage. Maybe it's really just Kyle Hamilton is your other inside linebacker, right? Like you've got Darius Washington.
I wouldn't be surprised if they did that, to be honest.
Right? Like
Would not be surprised.
That is kind of the reality, man. Is that just might be the answer. All right, very good. A reminder that if you or a loved one has a gambling problem, 1-800-GAMBLER, helpmygamblingproblem.org for free confidential services. Don't forget, again, tomorrow night, Tez Walker, our big Coats and Clothes drive, Chick-fil-A Nottingham Square, 5198 Campbell Boulevard. It's in White Marsh, just not the one in the mall, the one over by Target and Best Buy. Come hang out with us from 6 to 8. It's just a hangout. It's not a show. It's just a fun event. Come get some food, do some shopping while you're out, but most importantly, bring donations for helping up mission. Coats, jackets, gloves, hats, clothes, anything. Go to your closet, grab them today. You're about to get new clothes for Christmas or for Hanukkah. Get them out. Everything that you don't need anymore that could still help somebody, bring them to the Chick-fil-A Nottingham Square tomorrow night. Meet Tez, get a free Chick-fil-A sandwich for your troubles. And this Wednesday, I believe, we will have our new print issue of PressBox available as well, our annual best of issue hitting your Baltimore area High's Dairy stores this week. All right, great win, obviously, for the Ravens today. Really, really good. We will see you guys for a late night show next Sunday night. Appreciate you hanging out with us. This has been Press.